Hello, good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing very well this week. I'm really excited because we're talking all things social media today. We've got the amazing Catherine George with us, who's the founder of Oh So Savvy and Oh So Social. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, how is everyone? Great for everyone to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's good to have you back, and I'm really excited to hear what you've got to say today. So, we're talking all things how to boost your social media presence for summer success. Catherine's going to be talking about how to utilize key social media trends, the importance of influencer marketing, and how to boost your engagement, and how to use your social media networks for growth with expert tips all throughout. We are recording, so don't worry if you miss out on anything. We'll send it to you this week with any follow-up resources as well. We'll have about 10 minutes at the end for a Q&A, so do get your questions in quickly. I know this topic's really popular and we always get lots and lots of questions. I want to say a massive thank you to BT for making this webinar possible today. You can find lots more free resources for small businesses over on the BT Skills for Tomorrow website. I think that's it from me, Catherine. I'm going to hand over to you and I'll be back at the end for questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Let me know where you are, where you're from in the chat. I will pick up the chat at the end because otherwise I've learned a valuable lesson over the years. I can't talk and read at the same time. So what I will do is get to all of your questions, or as many as I can, throughout the at the end. So let's start with the awkward introduction. For those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Catherine George, and I help businesses and brands of all shapes and sizes from all over the world get really tangible results from their social media. I do this in two different ways. I have a full service social media agency called Oso Social, and I have an online training platform called Oso Savvy. Savvy version 2 is hopefully going live imminently. And these slides will be available there at the end. I'm a Meta Blueprint League trainer. I've won lots of awards and accolades along the way. And I'm coming from you. I'd love to say a lovely sunny Cornwall, but it's just gone cloudy, but we have had the good weather. So we have loads to cover today. There's lots to talk about. I'm going to be chatting a lot around the slides. So anything you missed, or you go, oh my God, Catherine, what did you say about this? Let me know. You can always reach out to me directly afterwards. But I've got some really important updates to share with you. There is always so much going on and so much changing within social, and we've got quite a lot to talk about. So before we talk about all the updates that you guys need to know about now, I'm going to start with a friendly reminder. Sorry, you guys are going to get so bored of me saying this, but please, 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 if you do nothing else from today, or if you listen to nothing else I say, make sure your two-factor I can't say that word, authorization is switched on. Make sure it's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all of your accounts. Make sure you've got that two-factor control switched on. Hacked accounts are becoming more prevalent, and being honest, they're becoming harder and harder to get back. So make sure you have that two-factor turned on. Your social media channels are important. They are really valuable business assets. So this is your most important way to protect them. Second thing I really want to flag, I suppose this is 2 and 3 combined together. Please, please make sure you are a correct business profile across all social channels. So I think today is a good point for me to flag to everyone that social media advice changes. It changes a lot. It changes really frequently. It's why it's important to keep coming back to events like this and going, oh God, I heard Catherine speak 3 months ago. Well, actually, we've probably got different advice to you then. And my new key advice is please make sure you are a business profile. This is paramount important now on Reels and TikTok. And please stop trying to access the music that's only allowed for creators and entrepreneurs, unless you are a creator or entrepreneur. This is becoming a really heated subject, and it is really important that now we deal with the hand we're dealt. I know people are screaming at me now, going, I don't want to be a business profile because I lose the good music. I know that. I know that. I empathize with you. But unfortunately, this is becoming more and more important. please make sure you are a business profile, and please make sure you are only using the music that is available. Stop trying to hack it. Those days are behind us. Now we are going to work within our correct parameters. So please make sure you have a Facebook Business Manager and you own all of your assets. If you aren't sure, go to business.facebook.com/settings and it will open up your business manager. You'll look at it, you'll go, oh my God, this is horrible. The great news is you only need to look at it once, but just make sure you are the admin of that account. Your Facebook page is there and your Instagram account is there. And for anyone who's advertising, your ad account is there too. And actually, that leads us really nicely into, we know that Google is changing the rules this year. We know that Google and other web browsers are starting to remove cookies. So for anyone advertising, this is your additional reminder to please sort out Conversions API or CAPI across all of platforms. Okay, so now I've given you guys all of the friendly reminders. Let's talk about the updates that you really need to know. So what is happening? I mean, there is so much happening at the moment. We get weekly updates from all of these networks. And what I've tried to do is highlight the things you really, really need to know about. So Threads API is coming. So everyone's probably thinking, oh gosh, I forgot about Threads. Or there might be one person in the call being like, Catherine, I'm using Threads and it's really working for me. Threads has been a really interesting social media network. And this actually, before people get excited and run off onto Threads, remember my golden rule? My golden rule is you don't need to be on every social media network. You need to be where your customers are. But with Threads API coming, we're going to see places like scheduling software being able to access the platform. This might increase use. Threads use is slowly increasing. So actually, if your audience is on that network, now is a great time to look at it or revisit it. If your audience isn't there, don't waste your time on it. Focus your efforts and do 1 or 2 social media networks really well instead of half-assing all of them. And for those of you who are now thinking, oh, what about Twitter, now called X, the platform formerly known as Twitter to me, use on that platform is starting to decrease. Now, if it's still working for you, excellent. Stay there, keep doing what you've always done. But if it's not really working for you, it's not delivering anymore, you will no longer be the only brand posting and pinning tweets going, we are no longer monitoring this platform. So the next thing we all need to know about is TikTok potentially getting banned in the US. This is going to be a fascinating case for every social media manager and every social media director. But actually, it's also going to be very important if you trade internationally. If you are an international trader, if you have a market in the US, we really need to start preparing ourselves for this potential ban. And what we are seeing is some creators jumping from TikTok to Reels, lots of creators jumping to Shorts, some even looking at other networks like Lemonade. So keep an eye on this and remember my golden rule before you make any rash decisions. Understand your customers. Focus on the networks they are using. If all of your customers are still on TikTok, I'm sure no one's surprised to hear, I think actually TikTok users went up after the US announced a ban because it's a very controversial topic and people want to get involved. If it is your market, stick to it. And actually, TikTok is still a very fast-growing network. If your audience is on the platform, it is now a very good time to still be looking to onboard, because otherwise we are going to get to the point where, is it going to be too late? Is the audience going to start to saturate? So, big thing for anyone who does boosted post advertising, if you do it through your phone, so this is for Facebook and Instagram, if you go to the Facebook app, you go to the Instagram app on iPhone, iPad, or any Apple device, Apple are going to start charging you a 30% fee. Facebook are being really clear about this. That is not a fee they are charging, it is Apple. To avoid it, go into your Facebook business account, go to your ads manager, go to Business Suite, and boost your posts that way. Really, that is best practice. And we previously did a talk with Small Business Britain all about this is how you advertise. Go and revisit that. I'll make sure we send you the link and do it correctly that way. It'll save you 30% and it will increase your results. So, other cool things happening on Facebook is full screen video player is coming in app. This means video is going to become more and more important. Video is a running theme across social at the moment, so just be aware of that. Also, for the advertisers in the room who use daily budgets, this is a really big change that not everyone is aware of. So at the moment, when we advertise on daily budgets, Facebook is allowed to use a proportion of your budget from the next day. It sways at a very, very small percent. I think it's about 10. That is now increasing to up to 75%. So if you are an advertiser and budget control is paramount to you, this is your warning to switch to lifetime budgets. So now for more exciting positive things. So Instagram Creator Marketplace is soon to launch in the UK. So for anyone using influencers or who is inspired to use influencers from what I talk about later, that is going to be a really exciting game changer. We currently have TikTok Creator Marketplace where we can go in, bid with creators, work with them within some awesome brand parameters. So it's really exciting to see this expanding across other social networks. Instagram now does multiple links in the bio. So that means if you've only got 5 links, no more Linktree, no more third party, you can now add in up to 5 links within your Instagram bio. Little cheer from those who didn't know. And the final really awesome news I've got to share is that TikTok has expanded its shopping connections. So when we did this talk last year, on my last TikTok talk, I was talking about Shopify connections. Now we can connect with WooCommerce, Square. There is a whole long list. So if you are a limited company and you are e-commerce, look at TikTok shopping. The TikTok made me buy it trend is huge. And I'm a proper eavesdropper, sorry. I was at an event the other day and there was a mum and son. The son was about 18. And he was like, look, mum, I'm buying this. And she was like, why? He was like, because it's in TikTok shop. It's just so easy to buy it. TikTok shop is becoming paramount important. So if you are eligible, please have a look at that now. So Instagram, I always get asked so many questions about Instagram. And Instagram has got so many changes. So let's try to cover them all. Keyword in the sentence is try. There are so many updates to all of these networks all the time. And because there's such a broad range of people on this call, I'm trying to summarize the most important ones. There are additional features that I'm not mentioning, but anyone who has anything really specific, drop it in the chat, drop it in the Q&A. So first big change on Instagram is we are looking to post mobile first. This means portrait. If anyone ever says to you mobile first, always think mobile first. That means portrait. Why do we call it mobile first? Because we use our phones like this. We look at them portrait. So this has been a big thing across socials for a long time, but now it has moved to Instagram. So if you are currently using square or horizontal images, now is your time to move to portrait. This is a really easy hack across all of your socials to design with a mobile first intent in mind. That's simply because I don't know if anyone wants to guess how long you've got to get someone's attention on social. I don't know if anyone is really quick. Okay. 4 seconds. Thank you, Ashley. 3 from Small Business Britain. 2 from Kate. Hi, Kate. Great to see you. Great. So actually a few guesses. 3, 5, Becky at 0.5, Jennifer at 3. So thank you, guys. We only have 1.4 seconds to get someone's attention on social. Really quick, lightning quick. This is why having mobile first photography is so important, because actually it fills up the entire screen as we are scrolling. that means it's normally at least 1 or 2 touches of the phone to go past. That is really key, especially when we're competing against friends, families, weddings, divorces. There's so much to compete against. So with all of your content across all of your networks, please now think mobile first and start doing portrait photography. So the next thing we need to be aware of is more people are viewing videos on Instagram. So the wording from Instagram is, we don't prioritize reels. However, people are looking to consume, so watch more video, and there's not as much video as images on platform. So this means we are inadvertently seeing a bigger focus on Instagram Reels because more people want to see them and the Instagram app wants to show them to more people. What I say to everyone and to every client, and what we do here as an agency, is ration your content. So don't just post Reels every day. Actually, the amazing Sasha Harding did a test for us on this. She posted Reels absolutely every day. And what we found was actually her followers stagnated, but her views got very high. So what we say to everyone is have a balance. So do some single image posts, do some carousel posts, do some reel posts, and really balance that content through, because what happens is within Explore, actually, I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that in a minute. You'll be like, why? Why? Because I'm talking about the algorithm in a minute. But everyone sees something different. If you engage more with videos, you'll see more videos. If you engage more with images, you'll see more images. This is why it's so important to understand your audience and what they engage with. If your audience like Reels, focus on Reels. So we've got some changes to ranking. Actually, we've got quite a lot of algorithm updates across Instagram. I'm going to explain them all. But this is great news for us small businesses and creators. There is a change in ranking that increases recommendations for smaller accounts and smaller creators in Reels. This means all of us. I mean, I'm not going to say it's very similar to the TikTok algorithm now, but TikTok prioritizes new content discovery. Instagram Reels now prioritizes new content discovery. This means all of a sudden, all of us on this call have an equal opportunity of going viral, being seen. So this is a great time to start bringing those Reels in to your content plan and your content strategy. Same rules apply, as always. If you are doing a Reel, make sure you save it to Grid, because then it gets shown to your followers, and always share it up to your story as well to really maximize exposure. And now, as we all know, we're only going to use the commercial music available to us. Don't worry, some commercial tracks still trend. Lots of the big music is still available to you, but please, please make sure your settings are correct. You will thank me in the long run. And finally, direct replace is coming soon, but I really had to mention this. So anyone who's got an aggregator account, so this is where you are something like a tourist board or a promoter of female-led businesses or a promoter of specific businesses. And your job is to go and find other people's content and you promote it and leverage it for them. You could do it for free, you could do it for money. Instagram now wants to focus on the original creator. So that means if you create something awesome and someone reaches out to you and goes, hey, can I share this? And they do share it. Instagram will try to find your original content and give you preferential treatment. So they are really shifting focus to try to support these small creators and these small businesses. So this is an important thing to remember, especially if anyone's going to charge you for being on these accounts. Now we have to consider, actually, is it ever going to be worth it? So now I want to talk about the algorithm update. So we have seen a big algorithm update, and of course, we can't look at Instagram as a single platform anymore. That doesn't work. It's not a single platform. We've got feed, we've got Reels, we've got Explore, we've got stories. So what's happening in feed? So our regular Grid posts. What does Instagram care about? So first of all, it cares about the post content. So what you are talking about and the potential interest to the audience. This is why it's so important to really understand your audience, who your audience is, because what we are trying to do is understand who our followers are and go, actually, what are they going to be really interested in? Then when we create our posts, our images, our carousels, we need to make sure that the content is clear so the AI can pick it up, but also our caption is clear and we are hashtagging correctly. You can use 30 hashtags on Instagram. 30, please don't hate me, but you should use all 30 all of the time. And think of your hashtags as real estate. It's 30 opportunities to get into 30 different feeds of where your customers are hanging out. So a third should be about you, about the brand, about the business, what you want to be known for. A third about the story you are telling, so the content at the time. And then a third can be your vanity and your niche. But this information also helps Instagram understand exactly what's going on in the content, and it helps them figure out for the algorithm. So the next thing is popularity. So this is how much engagement you get and how quickly you get it. All engagement is ranked across all social platforms, and it's done in a scoring system. So reading is 1 point, so someone physically hovering over the post. That's why portrait posts are so important, because it gives us more hoverability time. It's actually why in some cases longer written posts do well, because when you open that up, it classes as an engagement and people are going to be there for much longer. So a like is 2 points, a comment is 3, a save is 4, and a share is 5. Occasionally share and save are very interchangeable, but you get the idea. That is why you see posts which go, save this for later. It's engagement baiting. They want you to do that. The more engagement you get, the quicker you get it, the more popular or newsworthy Instagram thinks your post is. This is why it's really important to post at the correct time of day. Instagram will tell you in your own Instagram insights when your fans are online. So make sure you optimize your content creation for that time of day. You can schedule posts. There's loads of free scheduling software. You can also now schedule within Instagram. So make your life easy and schedule your posts. So the next thing is creator info. So this is what Instagram knows about you. And it takes into consideration your bio, what you post about, how much you show up. So how much you post and how popular and interesting your content is. The more you show up, the more engagement you build, the more people engage with you, the more Instagram thinks you're trustworthy and awesome. So it starts to give you more and more kudos. And then finally, the relationship with the creator. So for you guys and all of us, it's actually our relationship with our audience. If we have this great relationship and our audience regularly engages with us, we could have some great top fans. The stronger that relationship, the more likely your followers are to see your content. It's called social media because you have to be social. So this is the time where we reply back to comments, we engage with comments, we really make ourselves seen and known. So what about Reels? So again, we can see the creator info and that relationship with our audience is there. But as I spoke about a moment ago, Reels are now prioritizing new content discovery. So this means they're not just going to show your content to everyone. They can't, right? They can't. There's no magic button for that. What they do is we put loads of information in the post because we write our caption, we put in our hashtags, and then Instagram goes, judging on these hashtags and this information, we think this audience over here will like this content. So they look for audiences that regularly engage with that kind of content. They have that engagement, they have that interaction there. Instagram wants to show great content to people who will be interested in it because that's how it keeps them on platform. So this is why it's so important to really understand, what does my audience engage with? Because if you know what your audience engages with, you can create content that is more likely to be shown to them. So in Instagram Explore, as I said earlier, this is where we've got this like big creator info now coming in. If Instagram knows that you are a really interesting creator, if it knows that you talk, sorry, Kate, I'm going to pick on you. It knows if you talk about sustainability and upcycling, and you have this great personality coming forward, it's going to find out, it's going to go find that audience who are interested in sustainability and upcycling and products and e-commerce, and they like engaging with big, bold brands. Then they're going to start pairing you up. And if your post is already doing really well, this is how virability comes in. And interestingly, both across Instagram Reels and TikTok, posts can last a really, really long time. So I had one post in Instagram Reels for about 2.5 months, and I'm quite a small creator. I think it only got like 10,000 views, but the bigger accounts and the bigger you get, the more you do this, the longer and longer your content can stay in feed, which is great, because then we aren't just having people rely on stumbling across our Instagram account. It's Instagram actively showing your content to great people who might be interested. And then finally, Instagram stories. As per ever, this is going to stay quite chronological, but the more you react with that creator, the more you visit them. So the more your audience views your stories, the more preferential treatment you'll get, and so on and so forth. And again, the more your audience engages with stories and stories like yours, which can include things with stickers and music, the more it will get seen. So the really important things across Instagram as a whole right now, is one, understanding your audience. Understand your audience, understand what they're up to, what they're doing, what they engage with, and what they like to interact with. Two, build relationships. It's called social media because you have to be social. So build these relationships, have questions with them, spark conversation, give them what they want. Three, popularity. So how quickly we're getting these engagements and what kind of engagements we're getting. So the likes, the comments, the shares, the saves. To optimize this, schedule at the right time of day. Optimize your stories, so share stuff into your stories to really leverage that. And without engagement baiting, encourage engagement. So engagement baiting is when you say like, tag, comment, and share, and save. It doesn't like that. But what it does like, if you go, who would you share this with? Tag who's coming with you this weekend. It's about language. And saving things like save for future reference, that we can kind of get away with. It's the like, tag, comment, share, it really, really dislikes. So be tactical with your language if you are going to optimize for sharing. And then finally, the most important thing across all social is great content. So keep showing up, keep regularly posting on Instagram now for good growth. Sorry, people are going to hate me. Really, we need to be showing up every day. Utilize scheduling software, it becomes easier. So the post content and the post interest. So how interesting your content actually is and how likely it is for the audience across Instagram to engage with it. But who wants to know a secret? I'm sure you guys are all like, yes, of course, tell us, Catherine. Oh no, I clicked too soon. You've all seen the secret. Yes, tell us the secret. This is important across all of your social networks. All of your social medias are designed to do a few things. One, keep people on platform, keep them scrolling, keep them engaged. Two, trigger massive endorphin and dopamine hits. Three, show them content they are going to absolutely love. So the more you understand your audience, what they're doing, what they're engaging with, the more relationships you can build with them, the more great content you can post, and the more content information you can give them, the better. And lots of people always say to me at this point, they're like, oh, well, what do I post about? What do my audience care about? Ask them. It is that simple. You know, if you really don't know, ask them what they'd like to see next. So in my life, I'm a social media director. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, they're all very, very social media heavy. Across on TikTok, I did a video about my Sjogren's syndrome. I have a rare autoimmune disease. All of my videos that I am now planning answer questions that people have asked me on that video. So I've replied back in the comments and gone, this is what's happened to me, but I'm now actively planning to create videos going, this is how I got my diagnosis. This is how I'm medicated. So it is about answering those questions and really engaging and adding value to the audience. So, sorry guys, there is a lot to cover. Hopefully everyone's still with me. I can see the chat is popping up, so I hope everyone's saying nice things. What trends are we going to use and utilize in 2024? So we've got a few really cool, awesome content trends happening now and happening this year. Before you all panic about writing them down, I will get these slides live on Savvy later today so you can download a copy. So the big trends for 2024 are actually longer form content. And when I say longer form, I mean longer than 30 seconds. So still quite short in the grand scheme of things. But people are looking for slightly longer length video. It's really interesting. We seem to have now kind of moved away from that. And actually what else is great within this, and we are seeing more and more of, is the FaceTime trend. So that's where creators, businesses, brands are literally doing content face to camera like we are chatting to them on FaceTime. We're helping to stabilize our relationships with them. We are making eye contact with them. We are making them feel like they are part of our journey and part of our life. And I mean, FaceTime calls are normally longer than 30 seconds, but it's hyper casual content. It is very much chatting away, making a cup of tea, just talking as if you would talk to a friend. Now, the next one is actually my favorite. So this is product placement without mentioning the product. And it is absolutely excellent for getting people to engage with you because it gets them to ask the question. So I've seen some phenomenal examples across beauty with this, but I've also seen it across health, across well-being, across food, across drink. And that is where you are literally creating a video. And you could be doing something, you know, so if I use makeup as an example, you could be putting on mascara, putting on your whole face, but not telling anyone any of the products you're using. Everyone sees the results, so they're already bought in, they're really interested, but they have to comment with you to find out exactly what it is. Massively spikes your engagement, massively increases your popularity, helps feed the algorithms that you're great. We can do this with everything. We can do it with baking a cake. We can do it with making a bag. We can do it with walking into an event. So it's product placement without mentioning the product, and it is a very great psychological leverage. We're seeing nostalgia kicking around again. We saw a lot of this last year. So any of us who were born in the 80s, like me, is absolutely loving it. But we are seeing nostalgia still creeping in. And then another favorite of mine, stories that start anywhere except the start. So this is great. So instead of me saying to you, yesterday, we did this, I would start by saying, so actually we've made a really big decision and everyone took on boarding from it and everyone was really invested. And I think we're going to have a really big change. Well, you don't know the first half of that story. So actually on a psychological level, you need to finish that story. Starting your story in the middle or even at the end is a great way of psychologically getting people to watch your whole video. Because on a psychological level, we are programmed to always know the answer. It's called incomplete content and it is powerful. So we are seeing an increased use in AI. So I know there is lots of small businesses harnessing AI to write for them. Please be aware that some networks are going to start labeling content that is created by AI. And we are expecting that to potentially decrease reach. But it's still a great tool. Just make sure you are copy editing everything that you use. Increased use of AR, so augmented reality. We're mainly seeing this in adverts, but I'm not doing my job if I don't tell you. We are seeing massive content bravery. So this is where we're all putting on our brave pants and trying new things. Remember, if we don't try new things, how do we know what is going to work? And then finally, the biggest thing, and I say it time and time again, we are going to see more and more of it, is video. This is your year to embrace video content, so please do it. But of course, within this, we also have regular trends, little things that crop up. So does anyone want to guess what's trending now? Again, if we've got some really quick typers in the room, anything that's really disruptive, that all of a sudden we're seeing lots of trending music about. Jim, cats having accidents is always trending, but it's a great thing to leverage if you're a cat brand. Yes, Melissa is right. It is Bridgerton. And hi, Melissa, as well. So Bridgerton is really monopolizing feeds at the moment. It is trending everywhere at the moment. And keeping an eye out on things like this is a really key part of your strategy. Some of you are thinking, by the way, I can't use an actual Bridgerton picture, but fans of the books will know about this. We can't use that, but actually there are other things that trend. And trends change, and they can sometimes be really hard to predict. So this means it's about us keeping an eye on things and seeing what's happening now and if we can or can't leverage it. Bridgerton might not be for you. That's absolutely fine. But we do know that these things will trend later in the year. And we do know that Netflix might drop a show, or Prime might drop a show, Clarkson's Farm. That's a big trending topic for a certain audience. We also know we've got lots of things happening this year. The Euros, we've got Wimbledon, we've got the election, we've got the Olympics. But we also constantly have celebrities doing things like this. Huge trending moment last year. Might have even been the year before now. But also, it's about understanding your audience, understanding their culture, and looking for their trends. Because when you understand your audience, you'll start to notice things like the red flag trend that happened last year. We have a job in our team where you are the trend spotter. And what we make them do is log into everyone's account, so all of our clients' Instagram accounts, all of their TikTok accounts, and look for trends that show up in their niche. Because if you can leverage them, they are really worth doing. Don't jump on every trend if it's not right for you. The Travis I'm pregnant trend didn't work for every business, but for some it really did. So it's about understanding that and figuring out how we can leverage it. And then finally, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is influencer marketing. Sorry, I know there's a lot to talk about today. So influencer marketing is basically, here's the definition, the deck's available later, but basically it's using someone else's social influence to reach their followers, to reach their audience, but actually to amplify their trust. And I think influencer marketing has a bit of a dirty name, but I actually really enjoy it if it's done well. So for you guys on the call, we need to think about people who are like nano micro influencers. So small followings, 1 to 10K, but they've got a very loyal audience. They actually really care about that audience. The audience cares about them, and the audience really listens to them. These guys tend to work for free or for low cost, so they are great to bring into your audiences. We've then got our micro guys. This is where the content tends to get better, but it's still very authentic and they still have a really great audience that really care about them. Then we've got our mid-tier, which are our big guys, where we are looking for paid content. And it's the same with our macro and mega influencers who expect all of the money for posting with them. So I don't suggest you guys go and look at macro and mega influencers. But if there is a gap in your strategy, if you know you need some social proof, you need some great content, you need to expand your audiences, your nano and your micro influencers are a really great way to start. And then when we're working with them, we've got 2 ways to do it. So we can either use a paid partnership. So this is where you outreach to an influencer. Always do your influencer research first. I've done a talk with Small Business Britain about influencers in detail. Anyone's interested, we'll get you the link for that. But do your research, Make sure they work with you. Make sure they fit with your brand and your brand values. So from there, what you do is reach out to them and go, hey guys, I would really, really like to work with you. You'll have a conversation. They might want some money. They might be happy to do it for free or for a gift. Excellent. Always make sure you have an influencer contract in place. Make sure you're really clear on your expectations and make sure you're going to get some really strong content out of it. Or what you could do is go down the brand ambassador route. Being fully transparent, I am a brand ambassador for Agorapulse. It's scheduling software. It's actually very good. But this is where you create a really long-term relationship with someone. You probably give them something for free or at a low cost or an affiliate link. But what you do is you find your really actively engaged customers who have a really clear following in your sector. I'm not going to be an influencer for a fashion brand anytime soon, but a brand ambassador from social media software is actually quite clever because I do events like this all the time. I'm a speaker. So pick that well and have conversations about bringing them on board. So they are really important because influencers bring you social proof. And that is really what everybody wants. It's not it's not me telling you I'm great. It's 5 other people going, oh, go speak to Catherine, she's really good. We don't trust businesses and brands who tell us they're awesome, but we trust friends and followers and influencers. So we're building social proof, which then builds us trust. We're also helping to reach those key audiences. So hopefully as well for us, really niche, hard to find audiences. And most importantly, we're going to get some really high quality content back because everyone on this call knows how expensive photo shoots are. There is a massive place for photo shoots. They are really worth doing. But remember that really high quality content as well can come from influencers, they can come from brand ambassadors, and it's a lower cost way to keep that content coming in. So what does the content look like? So it could just be that they've sent you pictures. So as we can see here on the left with lovely Meg at Barker & Barker, someone has just sent us a picture going like, we love your products, we'd be interested in working with you, and we get regular content from this team. So we can put that on our own channels and we help to build up genuine proof of genuine dogs out enjoying these treats. The next post is user-generated content post. So this is where a influencer or even a really great loyal fan, a brand ambassador, posts on their feed. So they post on their feed. Hopefully then we can push for collaboration posts, but even if we aren't, we are starting to be visibly shown and awareness is starting to be built in other people's feeds, which is what we want. Because if we pick our audience correctly, if we pick our influencer correctly, their audience is our audience. So then we can step up and do collab posts. So this is Tonka, the Frenchie, who's lovely. I wish I was as photogenic as this dog, and who is an exceptional brand ambassador for Barker & Barker. They regularly post and they do collaboration posts. So collab posts are an absolutely great way to leverage their audience and great content in your feed, because when you do a collab post, I don't know if you can see, but it comes from both names across the top and it goes to both feeds. So it's a great way and it's very easy for people to find you. And this post also has product tagging in it. So now we've also got great user-generated content going into our Meta, so Facebook and Instagram shop, as well as our usual product shots. And then finally, we can do competitions with them. So the last one we did, this is actually a business-to-business relationship and a business-to-business influencer. B2B influencers are strong and they are powerful for anyone on B2B. If anyone is interested, I'll do a little video about B2B influencers. But leveraging their audience and incentivizing them to engage, incentivizing them to follow, a great way to do that is a competition and it is mutually beneficial. So if you go, Catherine, this sounds really good. How do I actually work with an influencer? There's a couple of different ways. So you can just reach out to them directly. So send them a DM. Hey, I think you're great. Can we work together? And then you handle that relationship yourself. You can use influencer platforms. There's great places like ClickBank. There's great places like Arwin. So they are secure platforms where you can actively go in and you can review the influencer, you can see what they like and work through that platform. You can use places like TikTok, Creator Marketplace, and remember that Instagram Marketplace is coming soon. If you are using a PR agency, you can go down that route, although it is quite expensive. Or you can do my personal favorite, which is leverage affiliate links. So that is where you give your influencers a complete link. And then every time they promote your product, every time you get a sale from that link, you give them a little bit of a kickback. But that could be a reward, it could be cash payment. It is a way that you incentivize them constantly working with you. And I love affiliate link marketing. I'm a big fan of it, especially when working with brand ambassadors. So I know that was an awful lot to cover. I know there is a lot of questions. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. If I don't get round to you, I'm on every social media network at OSO Catherine. I'm very easy to find, so find me and I will get back to you. Hi, Amber.
Hey, Catherine, thank you so much for that. I actually learned so much during that 45 minutes. And I just love the way you explain everything. I feel like just make it all sound so simple. I have got a lot of questions for you. I know we've got just under 10 minutes to go through them. So I'm going to dive straight in. If you've got any more questions as we go, please quickly put them in the Q&A. And if not, Catherine will answer your questions via Instagram. A few questions about the replay. We are recording and it will be in your inbox this week, so don't worry there. Okay, first question. This is an interesting one. How can we pick up on social media trends? Because my feed only shows me the things I usually like. That means I have no idea what someone in their 20s or 30s is being shown.
Okay, so there's a couple of ways of doing this actually. So what we do, and we kind of do this as best practice, is we make sure we always have an account which focuses on that audience, if that makes sense. So there are different things like software, there's different scheduling software, there's things like Hashify, there's bits and pieces which will pull up a trend. But what we tend to do is physically try to get on the ground, and we create an account that likes. So for this business case, all of your competitors. So if you know that your audience is in their 20s, you've got a really good customer profile, you know that they like, you can tell that I'm now in my 30s and this is going to be a great guess. It could be things like they're on Snapchat. It could be that they're watching Netflix right now. It could be that they are engaging with a certain football player or things like that. So when you create a feed that represents them, you will start to notice those trends coming through. There are a few other tips, like following some of the really good marketing accounts, like Social Media Examiner, Girls in Marketing, it's very strong. And there's a couple of others that I will share that are very good at just pointing out the trends. Normally, they will appear in Explore. So even if you aren't right, you know, like the Barbie trend, that appeared everywhere, you know, the Barbie background graphic, because it was being shared so much, Instagram was like, we will start to show this everywhere. Same with the Little Miss trend, and then the red flag trend. Big accounts, regardless of who the audience is, tend to jump into them. So also make sure you've got a couple of really big accounts that you follow that you can just leverage and go, oh, that seems a little bit odd. I wonder why they're posting that red flag or that graphic. And then you can physically look yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love what you said about keeping up with the trend with the newsletters, because I actually am signed up to a few of them and you don't have to bother looking anywhere. It comes into your inbox. You can find out everything without having to search. So yeah, that's a great hack.
Yeah, it is. And actually, Social Days is a very good one as well. So that's Lucy Hall's conference. They send a weekly email going, this is everything you need to know. And they will occasionally put trends in there too. So
cool. We'll try and include the names of all of those and maybe the links of how to sign up in the follow-up email. Okay, next question. I think lots of businesses can relate to this. It's only me running my business, and although I do some social media, I would like to get more engagement. Is it worth paying out for someone to manage my social media?
Okay, so this is a question that we get at every point, and actually it is a question you are going to ask yourself with so many different elements of your business. What you need to do is figure out the value of your time. So I actually started my career in accountancy and finance, so I'm an accounting technician. I outsource my bookkeeping. because I know the value of my time building adverts for clients instead. So my time doing that is 150 an hour. I pay my bookkeeper 40. She can do in 2 hours what it takes me 6 to do. So straight away, the cost analysis makes absolutely perfect sense. So start to value your time and figure out how long things take you, and whether actually going and outsourcing it will end up as a much stronger return on investment for you. I think as well, before you go to outsource it, make sure you're looking for someone who really knows what they're talking about. And any good social media manager will say to you, if you're going to outsource it, organic will give you a very low return on investment. Organic return on investment is about building relationships. A really interesting industry report came out yesterday that said organic growth takes about 2 years before you start to see tangible return on investment. So when you go to outsource, good social media managers will talk to you straight away about advertising, because that is how we can guarantee you results very, very quickly. So I keep meaning to write a blog for like things that people should look for. I'll get that on my to-do list, and then I'll share it out on my socials, because I think that will help a lot of people.
Amazing, thank you. Just an interesting comment on that. Ashley says, surely if I outsource my socials, people are not getting my voice. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so actually, it's a very, very good question. And what we say, we're an agency here. Writing someone else's social is a little bit like having schizophrenia, because you're a little bit like, you really have to get into them. So what we say to everyone is we need to know so much about you. We ask for a tone of voice document. We ask about how you handle things. And actually, 9 times out of 10, the first time is wrong. But as long as the client can give us really good feedback and go, actually, I don't sound like this, I don't sound like that, it does become easier. If you find an awesome social media manager, it should all be fine. But I always feel like a slight degree of authenticity is lost, even if you get the most phenomenal person. Naomi helps me with my socials, and we've worked together for 8 years. And I always feel like you can tell when she's written something, and you can tell when I've written something, not just because mine's full of typos because I'm dyslexic, but you will find that, and it's a balancing act. But anyone good should work with you and actually allow you to feel really comfortable with that transition.
Amazing, thank you. I just wanted to read this out. Elizabeth says, you are such a star, Catherine. I love every webinar you do. Thank you so much, which I thought was so kind. We've got 1 minute to go, and I'm getting lots of questions about hashtags. Please, could you give us your top line of what people should be doing with hashtags? I know there's lots of conversations. Should be using 30? Is it 5? Do you think they're still relevant?
Yes, so they are. Interestingly, I work really closely with Facebook, and the first time I went there, the first question I asked was, what's the deal with hashtags? And they said to me, we don't understand why so many people don't get it, because it's science. So a hashtag is pulling you into a search algorithm where people are actively looking about that topic. So they're a really valuable asset, and it's a really valuable opportunity. You're getting on Instagram 30 chances to get pulled into 30 different feeds. So a third should be about you, about what you want to be known for, what you want to be found for. A third is about that post at the time, and a third is your vanity and your niche. So mine constant ones are female founder, women who lead, women in tech, because for me as a personal brand, they're really key. For OSO Social, it's things like social media agency, social media marketing, because that's what our audience is going to be searching for. Then if we look on the other networks, TikTok, we hashtag with purpose. So 4 or 5 really relevant. Same on LinkedIn, they go at the bottom of your post, 4 or 5 really hyper relevant, purposeful hashtags. Don't use them on Facebook, they don't work, they try it, it never works. And Pinterest, they use to leverage search. But they are important, and it is a fundamental part of your content that you should be looking for.
I think sometimes if it can help you get seen more, then what's the harm in using it? We are going to have to wrap up now, but Catherine, I've really thoroughly enjoyed today's session. There's so much information to unpack here, so don't worry, you'll be receiving a recording of it. And as Catherine very kindly suggested, you can DM her on Instagram if you have any more follow-up questions. Do feel free to also email us at hello@smallbusinessbritain.uk. We'll be back with more BT Skills for Tomorrow webinars, so we'll hope to see you there. I can see all the hearts coming up. Absolutely love interacting with you guys. Catherine, any final words before we wrap up?
No, I think my big things are always, remember, it's called social media because you have to be social. And remember, it's always a test. So be brave, try new things. The worst thing that can happen is it's going to work really well. So you'll be fine.
Amazing. Thank you so much. See you all very soon.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Thank you.